Hello, I'm Angela Solis with the Special Education Department. I want to welcome you to the first module on PLAAFP expectations for eStar. I want to share with you our vision. As a district, our Special Education Department has worked very hard over the past years to improve our practices in developing powerful and clear PLAAFPs and IEPs. As we move into implementing our new system, eStar, we want to ensure that we maintain best practice and compliance. It is our goal and expectation to have consistent practices throughout the district for all who develop PLAAFPs and IEPs. The only exception will be for our PPCD team, as they will have their own PLAAFP format to address pre-academic skills. With our LID staff, they will utilize the same format as we're presenting today. However, you will need to consult with your leads for specifics on additional information that may need to be added. In order to receive in-person system training, you must successfully complete the RRISD eStar implementation modules for PLAAFPs and IEPs by October 15th. In addition, I will be providing screenshots on expectations for completion of teacher-specific ARD pages and posting them on the wiki for your reference. In-person eStar user training will occur before the end of November for your campus. You must remember that a good PLAAFP statement includes the following key elements: use of current data, use of multiple data sources, is measurable and observable, uses parent-friendly language, is written in the area related to or impacted by the disability. What section will the PLAAFP go under in eStar? The PLAAFP will go in the Development of IEP Transition section. Where do I place my PLAAFP on the Development of IEP and Transition section? It will go under the Other section of that page. The Other section is where all of the RRISD PLAAFPs will be placed for everyone. All staff will put their PLAAFPs under Other.
This document will be the PLAAFP template for everyone in Round Rock ISD to use when developing PLAAFPs in eStar. This document contains set headers to maintain compliance with review of academic and functional performance, and access to the general ed impact for each student. The PLAAFP section will always require a review of each of the 6 areas. The 6 areas include language and communication, behavior, social, emotional, physical and health, English language arts, math, and lastly, pre-vocational, vocational self-help. The PLAAFP template is a Word document. The font for the template is Arial size 10. We ask that you do not change the font, or it may impact your ability to copy and paste into eStar. Let's look more closely on how to copy and paste the template into eStar. There are 2 options to select all of the text to copy and paste into eStar. The first option is to put your cursor at the beginning of the text and to highlight the entire text. The second option is to go to the top of your Word document, click on Select, and select All. Once you've successfully highlighted the entire document, you will need to press on Control-C. Control is located on the bottom left of your keyboard. After you have pressed on Control-C, you will then need to toggle to your eStar program. You should be in the section labeled Development of IEP and Transition. In that section, you will find the Other tab. We are going to click on the Other, and it'll take us to a text box. Make sure your text box has a blinking cursor. You will need to click on Control V, V as in Victor, and that will paste all of your text from your template into the box. Once you've done this, you will need to click on Save. After you have saved, you will be able to go back into the other box to make edits to your template and to prep your PLAAFP for your student. Now that you've successfully completed copying and pasting your PLAAFP into eStar, it's time to start writing the PLAAFP. It's important to remember that this is a template and there will be pieces to add and delete for every section for each student. Make sure you save your work. Let's go through a sample. My student is John. He's a third grader with a learning disability and reading fluency. His teachers have concerns in the area of math. However, he does not have a disability in the area of math. Even with oral administration of classwork and tests, he still continues to struggle in math. Let's talk about how we fill this out for John. First, his disability is not impacting language and communications, so I will delete areas of concern, concerns and needs, and disability impact on general access. Left in that section will be current data indicates there's not a need for specially designed instruction, as he does not need special education services in language and communication. Same thing goes for behavior, social, emotional. Same thing for physical and health. And then when I get to English language arts, he does need specially designed instruction. So I'm going to take out the statement that says current data indicates there is not a need for specially designed instruction. It's important to remember that if you're going to write a PLAAFP statement in that area, you need to take this statement out. And then I'm going to start writing my PLAAFP. Area of concern is reading fluency. Concerns and needs, for sake of time, I'm going to copy and paste my PLAAFP statement into there. Then I always need to make sure when I write a PLAAFP that I address disability impact on access to general ed. I'm going to paste in my statement there. And now I've completed writing my PLAAFP for John's reading fluency disability. I'm going to continue to move on though because I still have to address the rest of the PLAAFP. There are concerns in math, but he does not have a disability, so I will delete these three things. And since there are concerns with the general ed teacher, I'm going to put see ARD minutes. In the ARD minutes, the ARD committee acts as the student success team or the SST team, and we'll need to discuss general ed interventions that can occur for the area of math. If we are considering additional testing, this must be discussed in a staffing prior to the ARD meeting. Make sure to look at the last section here. And again, this is not an area impacted by the disability, so I will delete. And then lastly, make sure that I save when I'm done. After I'm done saving, I will be able to preview my document. And this is what we'll show to parents. You will have plenty of space to write your PLAAFP, and then your PLAAFP will end up in the ARD paperwork.
As a reminder, area of concern is where you put the area impacted by the disability, not the disability itself. Concerns and needs, this is where your measurable, observable PLAAFP statement goes. Disability impact on access in general ed, you must indicate the impact on access when you are writing a PLAAFP statement.
The PLAAFP document in eStar is actually a rich text field. This allows you multiple options for editing and revising your text. It's important to note that we want to keep the text as similar as possible, so please make sure not to make too many changes to the text itself. And remember, mostly we print in black and white, so adding color won't necessarily make it stand out anymore. You do have spell check at the top, and then there is an option of add image. You can add an image into your PLAAFP, but please make sure that the image is appropriate and related to the PLAAFP itself. It should be something that identifies the current baseline data for that student. Let me give you some examples of what you can add. One example could be a Ames Web graph to show the data of a student's fluency over time. That is an appropriate image that could be added. Another image that could be added could be a sample of students' work, possibly their written work, and show a sample of a before and maybe currently what are they doing to show progress. So it is appropriate to add student work or student data. I do not recommend adding student images or pictures of actual students because potentially we could breach confidentiality by getting images of students that are not part of this PLAAFP or ART. Let me give you some examples of what I could insert. I'm going to go to the English Language Arts section for John, and I'm going to add his Ames Web PLAAFP image. I've already chosen the file, but basically it's just like I would do in my email. I'm going to select the file from my desktop or drive. Once you select on the file, it will appear right here in this option box here. Then you're going to click Send to File Server. This will then send that image into your PLAAFP. Now remember, wherever your cursor is, that's where that picture will go. You are able to edit the size by right-clicking on the image itself, and you can go to Image Properties to be able to change the size to make it smaller. Again, remember that if more images you insert, the longer the art will be. So be careful from inserting too many. Just to give you another example, I'm going to insert another image with the work sample. Now obviously this doesn't go with my student's disability, but to give you a sample I wanted to show you. So here's my work sample. Here's something that could be useful in a PLAAFP, especially for a student with a writing disability. This would be a nice way to show their abilities, current abilities, especially to parents, to be able to see that document right within their PLAAFP. And again, you're able to right click on it and go to Image Properties and adjust the size. So that is an example of how you can add images into your PLAAFP. Now remember, we are not adding images of students themselves. It is either data or it is going to be work samples.
Let's review. Where do I put the PLAAFP in eStar? The PLAAFP goes in the Development of IEP Transition section under Other. Make sure to know the key elements of a good PLAAFP. For example, using current data, use of multiple data sources, and use of parent-friendly language. Make sure to know that Control plus C equals copy, Control plus V equals paste. You should also know that the only types of images that you can insert into the PLAAFP are data graphs, charts, and work samples. Screenshots will be available on the Special Ed Wiki. We'd like to thank you for participating in this PLAAFP module.